So all right, everybody, March 14th, 2017, we are going to do a big charity donation drive. That is to Patriot PAWS, and so it's going to be PricePlow's Patriot PAWS Day. I want to just have one day where I just donate all of our revenue to the service. So March 14th, basically anything you buy through PricePlow, any commission I get is going to Patriot PAWS.
Welcome to PricePlow.
And essentially, here's the long story is, and you've known this for a while. I started PricePlow. I started working on it in 2007. Version 1.0 was launched in 2008. Went up and down, and I didn't really. I got a little bit sidetracked with some smaller ventures in 2010, 2011, and then I decided it was time to really dig down and focus on the beast, focus on PricePlow in 2012.
Okay.
And for a few years, I lost money, and sadly, I'm willing to admit, I lost a lot of money, and I made a couple mistakes. And so, every year I'm doing my taxes. I just finished doing my taxes here. Charitable contributions, nothing. And it's kind of made me feel kind of pretty not charitable. So it's time that finally, I'm happy to say, I'm confident to say that PricePlow is doing a lot better. As you can see, our blog does well. We have a following here, Facebook, YouTube. It's going well, and it's time for me to give back. And so there's two things that I love that I'm all about when it comes to charity, and it's veterans, and you are a veteran Marine, as we know. And I love dogs, I love animals, I love cats. I'm an animal person, so it only made sense to want to do a charitable drive to an organization who's doing service dog training for veterans.
Well, I think it's pretty cool, man. Like, being an entrepreneur, like I have the same thoughts sometimes. Like, man, like, are we giving back enough?
Right.
And kind of like having that moral, like conversation with yourself. And so I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool that PricePlow, and I love being associated with a company that does have take that moral high ground to be able to do something like that. Obviously, veterans are always going to hold a big place in my heart. Like being in the Marine Corps. Once a Marine, always a Marine. It's a brotherhood, but also interestingly enough, like when you approached it with the animals, I also thought it was really cool. I grew up on a farm with like animals and stuff, and also my girlfriend is a vet tech. And so, animals have always been a big part of my life as well, and I actually see how much of a big impact they can make in someone's life. And we watched some videos from this organization on YouTube, and there were some cool, like, it's really cool to see like a veteran like going through like a 10-week or a 10-day class,
right,
to be able to adopt this animal that's been trained for upwards of 2 years.
2 years, yeah. So these are certified animals, and we're going to link to the video talking about this service and everything. So I'll tell you about the service a little bit, and I'd like to go visit them at some point if we can make this work out. But essentially, they train these animals for 2 years, and they're not just going to give it to any vet, but the ones who get certified go to a veteran who's been physically disabled somehow on the battlefield or however during his military endeavors, and then the ones that don't pass the test go to veterans for things such as like the comfort support or the therapy type dogs. So there's all
psychological distress type
exactly
stuff, yeah.
So you kind of cover both things, and it was great to talk to Sharon over at Patriot PAWS about that. And so the thing is, when I was looking into charities to start donating to, I was like, all right, it's time to give back. PricePlow is doing well, it's time. And I started looking into the financials of some of these organizations, and I had seen actually a video on the local news on Fox Austin, and it turned out it was the Patriot PAWS thing, but that's where I got the idea seeded in my head. So I started Googling, and some of these national organizations, I get they make a lot of money and everything, but they have CEOs, and on their tax returns they have to disclose how much money the CEOs and like the board of directors makes. They have CEOs who are making like over $200,000, over $400,000 for some of these organizations, and I'm like, dude, we're not that successful. And so I'm just thinking in my head, it's going to be a cold day in hell before I donate any money to an organization with a CEO making that much money. I get that it's like a big business, it's hard to manage all that, just not my game. Yeah. So so I started digging around locally, and that's where I found the Patriot PAWS service. And they have reasonable salaries, but the fact is that a lot of their expenses and overhead do go into salaries because they got to train these animals for 2 years, and all the technicians and the care, it costs money and time and everything. But I got a lot better sense of feeling after they talked to us on the phone. Now, in the past, I've always thought, hey, if we make a special link code, this is how I'm going to start talking about how it works on PricePlow now. And so, in the past, I always thought I can make a special link code into PricePlow, and then I can look at the sales reports. And the way the PricePlow works is, let's say you come to PricePlow and you see the best deal, and we send you to Amazon.com or bodybuilding.com. PricePlow gets a sales commission for the stuff that you bought from, through our link and everything. And so it's really, we were getting traffic from all these different places. We're sending traffic to over like 50 stores. It's a mess. It's a nightmare to track. And so I've always wanted to have like, hey, here's our Patriot PAWS like link code, and let's just donate every month to them. But it's just too much of a nightmare for me to track. And that's a bad entrepreneurial thing to say. I should have better tracking, but the nature of the PricePlow beast is we have data flowing everywhere. And so instead of doing that, I want to just have one day where I just donate all of our revenue to the service. So March 14th, 3/14 is Pi Day. It's a Tuesday, and
Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday. And so basically anything you buy through PricePlow, any commission I get is going to Patriot PAWS. So if that's the day where I would love it if you built up a stack and you're ready to buy a big order. Do it on that day. Use one of our links. If you're thinking about buying a TV on Amazon even,
yeah,
we'll make you a link. We'll have a link in the top bar and everything, and that'll be a pretty sizable commission, and I'm not going to keep any of it. In fact, I'm going to lose money that day because I still got to pay everyone. And yeah. And so, and we're going to see if we can get some of the local brands involved. This is a local kind of Texas-based service. We do have some Texas brands, but I'm also going to be shooting out to Redcon One and a couple other people, see who wants to get involved and give back a little bit and make sure that we recognize that what the veterans have done for this country and how they've enabled it, so that someone like myself, who's a college boy and went and started my web empire and all that, I couldn't have done that in the majority of countries in this world. And so I operate with a very high level of freedom, and I need to pay respects to do that. And I find that doing it with service animals would be a great way to do it. And then hopefully on April 1st is like kind of when I start getting paid. That's when we're going to give the money to Patriot PAWS, and hopefully if it's big enough, we're going to go up there, give them a little check, and play with some dogs.
Yes. I'm excited about that. I mean, because I'm hoping
You just
he
want to
takes
play
me.
with the dogs.
Yeah, I'm hoping he gets to take me with him, so I get to go play with the dogs.
That'll be a fun time. So we'll make you a link, but I want to make everyone know that there have been some struggles here, and I think it's time for me to start opening up a little bit about some of that, because we're entering a really fun, exciting time with PricePlow, but I'm not just going to be, like gobbling up profits like that. It's time to start pumping it back out there, and this is just one way of doing that. I want to start getting certain things tested. I want to start spending a little bit more money, but before we do that, I think it's time to catch up on the years of $0 contributions I've had and make a difference, because it's all about the veterans. It's all about the service animals who could help them out after they've had to deal with their consequences. So
That's awesome.
So get ready for March 14th, and use PricePlow, and anything you buy on that day, I'm keeping $0 commission. But on March 13th, I already screwed up. Start over.
All right. Okay, Mark.
My name's Mike.